Welcome back to our Let's Play of Storm of Zehir. I've temporarily recruited Finch just to take an item from him. Since we have a bard in the party who has the use magic item skill, we can take Finch's comfortable cap from him, and it gives some useful effects actually. So it's well worth taking. If nothing else, it's 10 more hit points, but it also gives the evasion, improved evasion feat, which is good in case you're fighting wizards who are fireballing you. Not that important, but better than wearing nothing. And in this case, the MS Arcana will just go to a different party member. I'll decide sooner or later. The reason I picked up the Adamantium down in Leylon near the end of the last episode was to build upgrades. To build an upgrade, you have to donate trade bars to the company in essentially groups of 500. And we're not going to bother getting the exact number. And I want to build an upgrade, and the first one that I want to build is the portal upgrade, which requires 5 units of adamantine and 5 units of dark steel. So we're going to need something, a source of dark steel, but we do have the adamantine. And you can try and build all the upgrades, and it will just give you the recipe, which is going to be 10 units of a rare resource, except for the advertising, which costs 5 of each of the basic resources. I'm going to get those and just put them in my journal so I know where they are. Now, I've walked by New Leaf before, but now this time I'm actually going to go up there and get everything set up. Since I don't want to actually go back into that area once New Leaf is set up, I just wanted to make sure that I had everything clear before I walked up there. Instead of actually walking to Conyberry, to New Leaf though, I'm going to walk to Conyberry instead. I want to pick up a quest here, but I also want to pick up 5 Darksteel so I can finish that portal upgrade. So we're in the tavern, and we talk to Jacintus Parr, and he wants us to go clear out his mine. And we'll do that later. Since it's on the way, we're going to deal with this keep for the party feat we were going to pick up. The description of the quest said there's a golem in this area who deals damage to anyone who attacks him in melee, so we have to kill him with ranged attacks. So here we go. Yeah, he's just a he just has essentially elemental shield up. And we picked up the missile volley feat. Also on the way is this warg cave, which is related to this enraged wargs quest. I'll just go in there and clean it out pretty quickly. And we start with the pups, who die fairly fast. Even the adults are just going to be pretty much a walkover. The only one that might even be somewhat interesting is this Den Mother, but she won't be much of a challenge. For good measure, I'm just going to light them all up with lightning bolts. These things do spam knockdown. And we get a level. So I'm going to level up off screen, and I will meet you back on the world map. And we're back at Crossroad Keep. Now that we have our trading network almost complete, just walking down to walking over to pick that up gave us an income of 3,700 trade bars, which is, another 60,000 gold. So we're not going to run out of money anytime soon. The other upgrades are mostly irrelevant. The Shrine to Joaquin has some uses. It gives you essentially sets up a standard temple in Crossroad Keep, which might be important if you have a tendency to die, which I don't. And really the only thing that matters is this upgraded portal. You get 200 XP for each of these and it completes the quest, but it's not a big deal. Since it's on the way, I'm going to do this quest from Conyberry at Param's Rock. Param's Rock has more of those drowned dead that we saw at the Temple of Umberlee. And they can be kind of annoying, but they're really not that dangerous because their special ability will damage you, but it can't kill you. And these ghasts go down fairly quickly. One of the interesting quirks of this area is there are a lot of explosive barrels lying around. So do not use area of effect spells. There are also a couple traps. But mostly we're just going to charge our way through here. And there are a bunch of unique enemies up at the top end of the mine. There are 2 Echoes of Regret, 2 Echoes of Remorse, and some Smothered Conscience and other things. Um, Even with just the most basic buffs, though, they go down fairly easily. And I'll clean up, and there's one thing I want to show in here. Sitting on the ground here in a book is the Deed to Param's Rock, and you can kind of read the letters and find out that, well, maybe that guy who hired us isn't really all that smart. More or less, he collapsed the mine in order to gain control of it, and then it became overwhelmed with undead, and he wanted you to clear it out so that he could claim it. Well, we'll probably not help him with his little scheme there. Here we are in New Leaf. I'm going to set up a trading post, but I'm not actually going to build any caravans just yet. My first stop is the New Leaf Tavern. As you might recall, we had a quest to go find out why New Leaf was having shortages, and the guy here more or less tells you nothing interesting. When we go back out on the map, though, suddenly there are a lot of bandits who are spawning, and even though they're encounter level 9, they can still immediately find us, which is, sort of annoying. And we can talk to them, and we can attempt to bribe them, and they accept no quarter, so I'm just going to kill them off. One of the bandits we killed had this serpent figurine on it, which apparently glows when you're close to the headquarters. So we're going to use it to find the headquarters, and then, deal with the bandits. And it's basically a game of hot or cold until you find the headquarters. If it's blindingly bright, there it is. They don't give you a lot of time to buff up here. The enemies are right here. So let's get rid of them. Fortunately, they all pretty much just charge up to the front there, and it's just one big stand-up fight instead of a lot of little ones. But there are quite a few enemies here. Like a lot of these areas, this essentially turns into two fights. The one at the front where everybody charges you at the door, and the one from the guys who didn't wake up in time. And they're going down. Eventually, come on. You actually only have to kill the leader, but you may as well kill everyone else on the way. There's a lot of stolen goods and an arcane nexus. So I'm going to grab that, clean up, and meet you back out on the map. Having killed the bandits, we'll go back and talk to the quartermaster again, and he says, well, it's done, and the bandits were the cause for the shortage. What a surprise. He doesn't actually give you any reward, though. You have to go back to Neverwinter for that. But we'll deal with that in the next episode, because we're done.